I would say on average we
Hello
have
to our one
one
listener.
person.
We will take it. All right, you boys ready to do this?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Let's do this. Let's have fun with it.
Hey, this is Wicked Spursy, Mike, Steve, and Dave. Steve, how you doing?
Well, Dave, have you ever been kicked in the nuts before? Because that's kind of where I'm at this week.
Yep.
And the worst part about it, and we're definitely going to get into greater detail here, is I think we all saw it coming. We all knew it was going to happen. We all saw that guy winding up his leg, getting ready for the good old crotch shot.
That's what she said. Oh, yeah. Nope.
And it happened anyway. So I am very much looking forward to our little talk therapy here.
All right, fair enough. Mikey, how you doing?
We should change our intro music to like talk therapy with Steve, Dave, and Mike. There you go. You have the
very like 80s sitcom sort of vibe you just put out there.
I like
that.
That's how it's going to work from here on out.
The best part was with Steve, Dave, and Mike. It had me excited.
I'm glad it did. It's a good weekend, I guess. Didn't really do anything spectacular. Oh yeah, I did. Threw my back out.
Yeah.
Haven't hurt my back in a couple of years. At least I don't remember hurting my back in the last couple of years. But I was all excited. On Saturday, I went down, brought my truck down to the store because I was going to sell it to somebody from Facebook Marketplace. They ended up not buying it from me because of one reason or another. It's a piece of shit. So, but as I was like loading all the stuff in, because just in case he bought it, I was loading I had like extra wheels and tires and an extra exhaust and all this shit that went with it. I tweaked my back. And I was like, fuck. Well, instead of going and resting it like I should have before I went to meet this guy, you know what I did?
What'd you do, Mike?
I continued to do outdoor work.
Yeah, you thought I'll keep it moving, get it limbered up, that whole thing.
That's 100%. I was like, I'll just keep this fucking thing greased up and we'll be good. Yeah. I kept it moving.
A penny, right?
I took the Christmas lights down finally, did all that.
You ain't 25 anymore, Mike. You knew it was coming. You just
yeah. There's no bounce back from that shit.
No.
Yeah, and then so anyway, ended up like a couple hours later, selling it to another person.
You did sell it,
so I got rid of it finally. I feel bad. I feel terrible about it because it's not an inspectable truck. I mean, but the dude did give me $2,500 for it. Fine enough. He's gonna fix it up and do his own thing. So it's out of my hands now. Sold to him as is, no give backs. And then the rest of the weekend was fine. I just took it easy and then watched a shitty football game on Monday. My son stayed home from school. He was actually sick, and I know he's sick because he did not want to stay home. So he hates to stay home from school. He loves school. But yeah, so we stayed home and we did what a good dad would do for his kid, which is show him the joys of the movie The Princess Bride.
Absolutely.
And it's great because it's about a boy who's homesick from school and his grandpa comes over and reads to him. And yeah, the Princess Bride. And then we watched some National Geographic thing on Pompeii that he's like all of a sudden into. And then he fell asleep for fucking 4 hours. So, yep. And woke up to me yelling at the television.
Just like Ryan Mason, you too were yelling.
Why didn't they give me the job?
I could have drawn with Everton as well, right?
Yeah, but at least
it
would have done different.
And he's got better hair though.
True. Very, very
he does.
True.
Yeah.
So how's the back feeling, Mike? You recovered?
Dude, I've been putting a little TENS device on it, every bit, a little bit, and putting a heating pad on it. I did not realize at one point that the heating pad was on my skin and I got a burn.
Nice. That means it's working.
When you can feel it, you know it's working.
That's when you feel it. It's warm enough.
Yeah. But I know today I got out. It's a beautiful day out here. It's 50, 55 degrees, sunny. Said I'm going to tune up the old lawnmower. Took the cover off the lawnmower, turned it on, started right up.
Oh, yeah.
After sitting there all winter outdoors.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Exciting things.
Clean the grill. I mean, life is good, man.
That's good. Life was good until we started talking about a football game. So where do we want
Let's
to go?
do that.
Steve, you want to get started with talking about the football?
Does he ever?
Oh, God. I mean, what is there to say?
Before you do, can we just give background context to the listeners? We have a shared chat on WhatsApp that we communicate often, pretty much daily. We talk about something, and usually post game, the three of us start throwing all kinds of stupid takes out, and then we get frustrated because we burned up all of our takes on the chat, and we forget them by the time we get to the podcast. So today we saw a deliberate attempt by your Wicked Spursy crew to not burn up all their good takes and save them for the pod. So listeners, we might have some really special stuff for you. So Steve, there's the groundwork for you to just start laying it on us.
You could have just let them think that I was going to deliver the same old bullshit that really is kind of like bottom of the barrel type material. But no, you had to set it up like I was going to deliver this, fantastical analysis of what happened. But I mean, what is there to say? It was Conte light. The only thing
that's one beer I would never drink.
It's funny you mention that, because the only
Italian
thing that came
lagers
to my
are awful.
mind, there was an episode of The Simpsons way back when where they outlawed alcohol, right? And the Duff Beer Factory was like, it's okay, we're going to roll out our alcohol-free Duff Zero and it'll sell better than ever. And 15 minutes later, he's putting up the closed sign on the brewery. That's kind of what that game was like to me. It was like, don't worry, we got Conte out of there, and this new Stellini is going to be even better than what we got with Conte. And it wasn't. It was just an abstract failure. It was awful. I mean, I don't understand the logic around, for 2 weeks now. 2 weeks, we were talking about how Conte was lambasting the players, how there's some validity to it, how, the system wasn't working. Like, there were so many different things going wrong. Conte was removed, and Stellini did nothing. He did nothing to change it except putting Hugo in for Fraser Forster, which just seemed like, yeah, I get he's the captain and sort of deserves it, I guess. But like, Forster was doing a really fucking decent job standing in there. And with that being the only change, that in and of itself was baffling, considering the tactic they used was, let's play it out in the back and use Hugo as a way to distribute the ball, knowing full well that is his worst quality. I cannot wrap my head around it. Like, at this point, I would have preferred they let Stellini go too and just kept Mason on. At least we would have gone back to like a 4-2-3-1 system or something, something different. Any kind of a change. But the nail in the coffin for me, the straw that broke the camel's back after one game, was subbing on Lucas fucking Moura again. I told you guys in our chat before the game even started that Stellini, if he subs on Lucas Moura, I will 100% be Stellini out. And here we are. I want this dude gone just as much as I wanted Conte gone at this point.
Steve's new name is #Stellini out. So
it sure is. Stevie.
On a positive note, we cannot see Lucas for the next couple of games. So there is some silver lining here. Will Danjuma actually get a chance to play? Probably not.
No.
Because fuck him for some reason.
Right.
But at least we cannot put Lucas into a game again. because he's bad. He is unable to play for the next 3 games. So silver lining, we got something positive out of that drab Everton draw.
You know what, Steve, you know what it reminds me of? You talk about Conte Light. And I don't know. I mean, obviously, Steve, I know you grew up in New Jersey, and Mike, you grew up in Rutland. So I don't know what the fast food environment was like in both of the places where you guys grew up. But when I was a little kid,
we had 2 McDonald's in our city, and it was
that's pretty big time.
Yeah, less than 30,000 people in our city.
So I'm going to throw this out. When you were kids, was Arby's somewhere that you ever got to go? Arby's roast beef, right?
Yes.
So for me, I mean, as an
Curly
adult,
fries.
Oh yeah. As an adult, I could say Arby's probably not, like the most awesome restaurant. But as a kid, I loved Arby's. Arby's was good. Like you give me one of those, you get like 5 of those roast beef sandwiches. And if you got really lucky, you get like a beef and cheddar or something like that. And that was golden, right?
With the horsey sauce.
Bingo. The horsey sauce, very, very good. But there was this other restaurant when I was a little kid, lived in the state of Indiana. And there was this like dorky little brother of Arby's that was called Rax. Did you guys ever come across a restaurant called Rax? R-A-X.
It sounds like a strip club.
Yeah, no.
I'm thinking Hooters right now.
It would have been better being a strip club, but I was like 6. So, but Rax was like Arby's, like poor imitation brother that just couldn't pull it off. They had a salad bar that was pretty appealing because it was the 80s and like that was a thing. But generally speaking, it was just a really weak substitution for something that probably wasn't the best restaurant in the world anyway. And that's what I think we saw with Stellini ball. And that's why Steve is Stellini out. So just want to reinforce that.
Stellini looks like a guy who would go to a strip club in the middle of the fucking day for the salad bar.
On a Wednesday.
For the salad bar.
He could be watching Champions League, but instead he's going to, the midday special at Rax.
At Rax. R-A-X, not C-K-S.
Do you think that he's like, do you think that like Stellini is right now like calling Conte and going, so where are we going to go next? And he's like, Conte's like,
absolutely.
Oh no, you stayed.
It's like, let's go to Spain. What do you say? Let's go to Spain.
You can find a job in the Chinese league.
Nice. Mike, what'd you think, man?
Listen, man, this game was all sorts of a hot mess, wasn't it?
Agreed.
Like, holy shit. Like for the first 20, 30 minutes, I'm like, okay, this isn't terrible. Maybe, actually for the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh shit, they're on their horse. And then like everything fucking slowed down. What Steve was talking about with, for some reason allowing Hugo to play out of the back, to actually touch the football and kick it to one side or the other. This is a complaint that I had with my kids team at the tournament a couple weeks ago. Why do they keep playing it to the left and right center back when they know that they're going to get pressed? Dude. Constantly. How is Everton pressing us? Everton is pressing us with 0 striker and no wingers.
The worst was when Hugo passed it right to Romero, like 3 yards away from him.
With 3 dudes on him.
Yeah. And Romero, being the absolute sociopath that he is, turns and still manages to get a pass away. But it's like, what the fuck?
So my thing is like, I'm thinking, I'm watching this going, oh my God, this is going to get worse and worse and worse, and it did. We didn't really get lucky. Perisic is a mess on defense. He's great going forward. He was doing a lot of things going forward. I mean, actually, he was actually pretty good on the ball. He saved that ball. He saved that ball to Romero for Romero to draw a card or to draw a penalty.
Yep.
Draw a penalty. I mean, that was fun to watch. You knew that Harry Kane was gonna make Pickford look stupid.
Pickford made himself look stupid in the whole lead up to it, trying to get in his head.
Yeah. The other thing is that Pickford wasn't good either distributing the ball. So he was awful. There's no way in hell that we should have lost this team. we can't. Let's address this thing with Harry Kane. It's really bothersome to me that, and I understand that Harry Kane is Harry Kane and he's never won a trophy, and people hate Spurs for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but I don't know about you, but if I got like pie faced and I got a giant finger in one eye and then another giant finger in another eye and the rest of the palm in my giant fucking nose, I would go down too. Not to say that like Harry Kane's probably way tougher than me, but any footballer in the world goes down there because you're trying to draw attention to it. I get that, but it is a red card. I don't understand. Sean Dyche is like yelling. I mean, Harry Kane deserved a yellow there. 100% deserved that yellow.
Yeah.
100%. And it, it was him being a little bit too aggressive. But he was out there trying to actually work. But for me, straight red card, no questions asked. You don't put your hands on anybody's face.
Yes, but can I say this, Mike? And this is blasphemy, what I'm about to say. There was a flopper quality to it. Like there was a delay, there was a pause after the impact, which happened, but then he goes down. And I could see why somebody would be upset about it. Like, did you really have to do that?
I think that Harry Kane saw that the referee didn't make an immediate like go for it, and then he said, "Okay, I have to fucking do something. Let's draw attention to this."
So he Richarlison's it. That's what he did.
It wasn't as bad as a Richarlison.
You see that all over the league, though. Unless the player goes down, the rest just don't want to do anything about it.
And it's usually a South American player, but because it's Harry Kane, it's amplified, right? He's England's captain. Oh, England's captain shouldn't be doing that, and blah 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 blah. blah.
Yeah, let's blame the victim.
Yeah, right.
Harry Kane's face should never have been near his hand as it was thrust out in front.
So for me, straight red card. End of story. The rest of the game was just shit. Instead of putting on an attacking player at that very moment, maybe switching our tactics, put 4 in the back, and just go for it. Put on an attacker that's not Lucas fucking Moura. That game's been played. We know how it ends, right? It always ends with Lucas doing something stupid, which is either dribbling directly into a man or getting some sort of card. And this time he got a sending off because he's a fucking chihuahua. He's just too excited, and he goes hard way late into a tackle and has an issue with it. But what was really happening in that game, and we really miss Bentancur. I'm going to say that right now. We really miss Bentancur. What was happening in that game was like there were no midfielders in the midfield. None. They were playing.
Harry Kane was in the midfield.
Yes. Yeah. Harry Kane was in the midfield. He was the only one there. Where's Højbjerg? Højbjerg's, I'll give it to you, Barty. Højbjerg was standing in his fucking cement shoes, pointing at somebody else to do his job for him. And Skippy, I don't know what planet he was on yesterday, but they're all out wide. And there was nobody to pass to in the middle. Who the fuck is Romero supposed to pass to when he surprisingly gets a ball passed to him by
himself?
By a keeper who hasn't played in fucking a month?
Was that Romero who made that forward pass and then he was like jogging to continue his run, saw nobody was going for the pass and tried to catch up to it before
yeah. I mean, and the entire game was like that. Like, instead of attacking, we sat back on defense. We put Davinson Sanchez in, who's not good on the ball anyway, and we put him in on the left side.
Yeah, his worst position.
That's true. They're very, very true.
You know who can play that side and has played that side, who was on the bench? Jaffa Tanganga.
Who's he? I forgot about him.
Yeah, if you wanted to put somebody in, you could have put Jaffa in. We had Danjuma sitting on the bench. Could have put him on as an extra attacker. Like Steve said, I don't know what he's done. What has he done to piss somebody off except score a goal in his debut?
Yeah.
Because he's being aggressive and he gets to a rebound. It's the whole thing is really just fucking weird to me. And I don't understand what's going on outside. We thought that Conte was calling all the shots when Stellini was coaching and, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't look that way to me now. I think we'd made the wrong move by appointing Stellini. I thought he was going to be able to see the season out, keep us at least a European position, but I don't see more than 7 points coming out of the rest of the season. The whole game was weird, and the players were giving up. There were points where Decky and Porro were working really well together. Pedro Porro is a fucking gamer. He is a gamer. And Decky was working hard with him, but he would get the ball in positions where he's got 2 or 3 guys on him and no one to fucking pass to because no one's showing to him. Right? He gets stuck in a corner. He can't get those nice crosses in off his left side like he does, off his left foot like he does. Pedro Porro can only do so much. Pedro Porro played better defense than any of our center backs yesterday. The whole game was just odd to watch, and I saw a bunch of players who have given up.
So here's something that I find interesting. So on the Spurs Reddit, they do a post-match survey to pick player ratings, and out of 339 responses, we had 4 players who got over a 4 out of 10. All right,
well, Harry Kane was good.
There were the 4 players: Harry Kane, Kulusevski, Pedro Porro, Christian Romero.
I don't think Christian Romero was that great, but he was the best of the 3.
But what's fascinating to me is if you look at the way they've lined up, it's the entire right side. The right side is the only one that looked like it was working. Everybody else was just trash. And it's not even saying that the right side was great or good. They were just the best of the rest.
The team has given up, and the coaches gave it. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and blame it on the coaches because straight off the tip, dude. Think about this, man. Like, you got a guy in Forrester who has actually been pretty good for all the shit that I've given him. I just like to make fun of him for a little bit, because he's a giant. But for all the shit that we've given him and I've given him, like, he's been really good. And to put a guy in there who's bad on the ball, who knows that they're playing, when they're playing a team that has nothing to lose, right? They're in relegation position, so they're going to fucking go after it. A team that's going to be well prepared and well drilled, like Sean Dyche's teams always are. A manager who's going to fire up his team to get themselves out of relegation. And that's not a good team there. They have no striker. They literally have no attackers. And, Damari Gray is a right wing, and he's the only guy that was attacking on that team. Outside of, like, every once in a while you'd see a Wobie pop up, or, Keane shoots from fucking midfield and scores. And there's another issue with Hugo. I'm sick and tired of Hugo not being prepared for shots outside the box when the whole system is built, the whole defensive system is built around making teams play and take that low percentage shot, that low XG shot. The entire defense is built around that. And I'm sick and tired of Hugo not fucking moving. He is, hold on. I'm changing my name.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm not having any fun, guys. Are you guys having any fun right now? This sucks.
So, no, but it's Spurs. Hugo out. Love it. No, so there is one thing
in all caps. Mike going with the all caps too. We ain't gotta.
I want to make sure that we talk about this post that went out on social media, because I'm curious what your thoughts are. It was from Pedro Porro, where he writes, "There are 9 finals left, and we have to give our best."
Here's what I think. I like the energy. It's kind of a who's the why have I lost track of who this kid was? Our left back from Spain that was
Sergio Reguilon.
Yeah, it's kind of Reguilon kind of energy. I like that. You could say they're both Spanish and make a generalization, but I'm not going there. But here's my problem. Even though I like the energy, I know it's bullshit because the rest of his team doesn't feel that way. Like he might feel that way,
it.
but the rest of those guys are like, yeah, summer's coming up.
Yeah, but that's it. There's probably 4 or 5 people who, they put the shirt on and they show on the field that they're actually trying to do something to really impact the game, for better or worse. It doesn't always come off, and sometimes it puts them in trouble. But I cannot say that every single person that starts for Spurs right now gives a shit to that level. Pedro Porro is easily one of those people who goes out there and he tries his fucking hardest, whether it works or not. He is out there giving it his all, and that I like to see.
Yeah, agreed.
That dude, like, he wants to be here. So when I go in and I take the broom and I sweep up the place, he's one of the guys who's staying there.
I like that.
Yeah, I think Kulusevski's got to stay. I think that Bentancur's got to stay. I think that a lot of these young guys got to stay. I would even take a flyer on Danjuma and try and get him to stay, but I don't think he's staying. That dude,
why would he?
That dude deserves better, and he deserves more. He deserves a fucking chance.
Mike, you know what else is deserved?
What?
Our listeners deserve to know. Hey, Mike, what you drinking?
Now there's a pleasant segue.
That was beautiful, wasn't it?
Dave wanted to lighten some shit up.
I want to, yeah.
It's like, you guys are far too fucking depressing. We're gonna lose our listeners.
I had a long day at work. I'm thinking about getting back to work. It's like, damn, man, this is brutal.
It's brutal, but it's gonna get fun.
Lighten me up, Mikey. What do we got? Right. What are we doing tonight?
From Doom and Gloom 2?
Well, Dave, today, take it out of my. I remember these guys. Remember when they were fun?
Oh, these arms around each other.
Yeah, they could still be fun.
They still could, yeah.
If only the system wasn't bullshit.
Racks.
Fucking racks.
You know what? When Dave finally one day takes us to Chicago, I almost say Cleveland. When he takes us to Chicago, we're going to Racks.
We're going to go to Racks. I don't know if they exist anymore.
With a handful. I'm going to go in there with a handful of $1 bills and get a fucking roast beef sandwich.
That's right. Give me 12 sandwiches.
Sweaty. You pull it out of your sock.
So tonight, I went down to the Bevy today and I said, I'm going to look for some new beers. I was hit in the face with this beer here. It's a brewery. It's a brewery that I've heard of. It's called Siren.
I like
it.
Right.
It is one of the breweries that there are in the world.
Wow.
High praise.
It's in England.
It's a really cool can. I'm digging that.
It is I'm
digging that all black vibe, the black.
Oh,
top.
dude, and it's
cool.
got some, like, I don't know. It's got a nice texture to the label. It's really cool.
Is it Siren is in like the mythological creatures that lure sailors to their death, or is Siren like, hey, the siren's going off?
The siren call, yes.
Okay, got it.
So it's a bitter. It's an English style best bitter. They're usually
go really well or really badly. I'm predicting this, Steve. One of the two.
I've heard of this brewery, so I wanted to try it. I saw it and I said, God damn, it's still no England style IPAs. But we had to get away from the IPAs. This has got to be getting stale. Probably like this beer might be. It's a 3.8% alcohol. So
that's a beer.
Yeah, well, I figure that's what you would give children if children could drink.
Perhaps
a table beer, or you would have it with breakfast.
Brekkie.
What about second breakfast?
We're not hobbits. I have feet like a hobbit, but we're not hobbits.
Now he's holding the can upside down.
Yeah, because it says instructions. It
Oh,
says
This way up.
this way up.
Pour
Pour
hard,
hard,
pour
pour
fast.
fast. So I'm gonna do this. I'm putting it in my giant Vermont pint glass, which is still even small for an English pint. For some reason, they still put it in a 16-ounce can, even though English pints are 20 ounces or whatever they are. Oh shit! That's like nitro. I'm gonna pour it hard and fast, like they tell me.
Look at
It
it
is
go.
copper. It is copper in color, like a bitter should be. Should be kind of light to medium bodied. Oh wow, this looks fucking awesome.
All I see is about a
Well,
whole
because
handful of head there.
Yeah, because it has the waterfall thing that
It's a big head.
that's what she said.
Oi! Hey!
Paper, no.
Like Eric Dyer.
Yeah. You know what? You know what's funny? You know what's funny? Lucas, we're watching the game, and Lucas, he doesn't often react, right? And at one point he goes, "Oh!" and it was that shot that accidentally went off Dyer's head. And
What are you
Lucas
talking about?
and
Accidentally?
Amy comes out into the living room and goes, "What's going on? What happened?" And Lucas goes, "Eric Dyer got his big head in the way." I was like, "That's what you're gonna say when we inevitably sign Harry Maguire next year."
Shoot
So
me.
yeah, bitter beer. The English style bitter. It's like an ESB, but this is called a best bitter for some reason. It smells really good. It's a malty. It's a little malty. They're like light to medium bodied, copper colored usually. Red Hook Brewery.
Mhm.
It used to be in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Made a fucking really good ESB. This is not an extra special bitter. This is a best bitter.
Wasn't
So-
Red Hook one of the early gluten-free brewers as well? Or am I dreaming that?
No, you're dreaming that.
All right, there you have it. My dreams.
Go back to sleep, Dave.
Yeah.
You're thinking maybe of Red Bridge.
Maybe Red Bridge. There you go.
Yeah.
Where did
Alright.
Red Hook go?
This beer smells really fucking good. I'm very excited to drink it right now. So we'll see if it tastes like a handful of pennies.
Well, then get to it. Quit your yammering and start the drinking.
Wow. That's interesting.
Interesting. All right, so I'm
Creamy
calibrating
head.
off that, Steve.
Creamy head. It's not very carbonated. Not a lot of CO2 to muck up the taste. Yeah, it's all there, man. It's all there for a light on alcohol beer. It tastes really good. It feels, it doesn't look that way, but it feels like when you're drinking, it feels like a light beer tastes. Like, like you have a hard day at work, you come home, like I need a fucking beer. You reach into the fridge, you get a fucking American light beer. You pop that fucker and you just pound it. You could pound these goddamn things. Not at the price that I paid because of the goddamn importing taxes and shit, but you could pound these things all day long. At 3.8% alcohol, you're looking at a Bud Light,
A Conte Light, perhaps?
Racks.
No, this tastes way better than a Conte Light.
Still leaves you a little bitter though, right? Oh, you see what I did there, guys?
Yeah. It does have a little bit of bitterness from the hops. There might be Cascade or something in it, but English hops, yeah, grassy, herbal, citrus notes, touch of Cascade in the dry hop. Look at that.
Wait, are you reading a review or what are we doing here?
No, I'm not reading a review.
Do we have a review? Steve, did you find anything? Research department?
Research department. The
The
research department's not
department is on it.
We haven't paid them in
job.
a few weeks, so I think they're kind of slacking, to be honest.
Yeah. Dave was telling us about his payroll woes earlier.
Payroll woes.
This beer is really fucking interesting. I really like it. I was told beforehand, from a friend of ours that Siren is a very good beer. Like the head on this beer is so wildly creamy that Look at that. It just
And
coats the glass.
it's holding up too, right?
It's holding up.
Yeah.
But it's not ultra fizzy. It's insane, this beer.
Steve, you find anything?
I did. This person has a very different take than Mike.
Ooh,
Oh,
let's
great.
hear it.
Please
Yes,
tell me it's a lone freighter.
No, this was reviewed by Scottney from England. And
Oh, he's
Scottney,
got to be an asshole.
he writes, I'm saying it's a
Why?
he because
Why? Because
his
he's from
little-
England? Is that why?
His little profile picture is the, universal sign for the male gender.
Wow, what a douchebag.
Yep. Anyway, so he writes, had it on draft at Siren's Pub/Restaurant, the George and Dragon at Swallowfield. Well kept, but overall a fairly unimpressive bitter. I was expecting something with a bit more of a Siren twist to it, but disappointingly, it's not very hoppy, not very malty, and simply doesn't stand out from the bunch at all. Sorry to say, but it's just meh.
Wow, Mike.
Huh.
Rebuttal?
Rebuttal.
Go fuck yourself.
No, yeah, my rebuttal is
Piss off.
Don't yuck my yum. That's my rebuttal.
Okay. All right. What's your rating on this bad boy?
I'll give it a 3.4.
So close.
Steven was very, very close. Steve with 3.5. I was high, 3.8. I was thinking that you were like still a little drunk from your high rating last week. Was that last week
Drunk with
where you had
power,
like
yeah.
one of your favorite beers ever?
Oh, dude, that spyglass, the vortex.
Yeah, I thought you were.
I
just
still
kinda-
can't stop thinking about it after I went to my
Can't stop
fridge
thinking
to get
about
one last night, and I didn't have any more. I did have a Borealis though, which was also very good.
Nice.
They make good beers there. This is very good to me. It's a very
Okay.
good beer. It's tasty, it's smooth, it's light. It's got everything you want in a beer.
How about a song? Do they have a song in it?
Yeah. Material Girl by Madonna.
Huh.
Interesting. Very interesting.
It just makes me feel light and happy.
Okay. Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Like it. All right.
Yep.
Hey, this has been Hey Mike, what you drinking? Mike, I'm sorry. I should have written this down again. Sirens the Brewery. What's it called again?
It's called Memento,
Memento.
like the movie. Modern Best Bitter.
All right.
Maybe not like the movie. That fucking movie is creepy. But
Siren Memento. Thanks, Mikey. Well done. That's been Hey Mike, what you drinking? All right. Steve, let's get back to the football. We look ahead next weekend, playing a team that's plays well and is managed well. So what do you think is going to happen?
Oh, we're going to get absolutely dominated. That's what's going to happen. There's no doubt in my mind that at home, where we should have a fan base behind the squad, pushing them forward, we are going to end up with a fan base chanting for De Zerbi the entire time, trying to convince him to abandon his well-performing, stable team for the chaotic bullshit that is Tottenham Hotspur right now. I don't see this game as being one in which the fan support is very high. I think they're going to be quick to anger. They're going to be jumping on every single mistake, particularly if we roll out the same 11 that saw the field against Everton. If there are no changes in lineup, in tactics, we go out and we play the same way, that is going to turn into a very hostile environment, much to the detriment of the Spurs team. And Brighton, I think, are going to be well poised to take the points.
Mike, how do you feel about that?
I agree. This is in different times when Spurs were playing more exciting, more fun to watch football, you would think this is one of those 50-50 games, right? With the players that we have still available. I don't like to make excuses because I'm for injuries, not going to shit because I'm always like next man up, mentality. If you're a professional athlete, you should always have that next man up mentality. And being a fan, you should embrace that too. So I'm not going to make any excuses there, but we don't. I mean, the lineup kind of picks itself. If I see Hugo Lloris again, I'm going to fucking shut the TV off.
You will see him again, guaranteed.
And if Son doesn't start fucking doing something other than standing there or losing the ball the second that he touches it, I'm going to shut the TV off. And we may not have, I might not have anything to talk about next week. But you know, stranger things have happened. We beat Man City for some fucking reason. You know, I think that we need to field a different defense. I think we need to switch up our tactics. And I'm hoping that Ryan Mason will actually talk some sense into Stellini instead of just doing the same old shit. But in the end, Brighton's flying high right now, dude. They just won again today. So, I mean, Brighton is looking like they're going to get fourth to me.
They deserve it. They really do.
They do. They do deserve it. And honestly, they have the best manager in the Premier League right now. I think they just do. He's young. He's exciting. He plays exciting football. Any Spurs fan who thinks that we have a chance of getting him is out of their fucking mind. Why would he want, like, I think you just mentioned it. Why would he want to come to the fucking dumpster fire when he's pretty fucking comfortable being where he is right now?
So where will he go?
Save money.
He's going to go somewhere. Where's he going to go?
He doesn't need to go somewhere, but
I know he doesn't need to, but he will. Players want to progress, managers want to progress. So you're not going to stay at Brighton for a career. So where's he go?
Liverpool.
I think I agree.
That's just throwing that out there.
You know, it's funny you mentioned
Liverpool just put up another fucking garbage performance against a garbage team. If there's any other team in this league that's as shit as Spurs, but doesn't get the credit for being as shit as Spurs, it's Chelsea, and Liverpool just drew Chelsea.
You know, it's funny to me. I don't know if you guys saw, Jurgen Klopp was asked about the recent sackings the other day, maybe a day or two ago, pre-match conference. And he made some snide comment like, and let me guess, you're wondering how I'm still here when all these other guys have been sacked. It's, you know, something to that effect. And it's like, yeah, you know, he's kind of right. You know, in any other club, I think he'd have been put out. Like, you know, Spurs have sacked Pochettino for a similar string of performances that Klopp's seeing right now. And Liverpool's sticking with him. Right. Whether they benefit from that in the long run, I'm curious to see how that works out. I'm curious if Jurgen Klopp sticks around past the summer into next season, is he capable of turning it around? And we see that Liverpool team bounce back to the heights that we saw last season? Or is he kind of like, you know, just run his course with them and needs to move on?
I think he's still a brilliant manager, as much as we like to pick on him for his whining and crying. I mean, Sean Dyche is a fucking baby ass bitch too. But you know, so it doesn't matter whether you're coaching fucking Burnley, Everton, same thing, or Liverpool. Like, Jurgen Klopp was successful because he was given the tools that he needed to make his system work, right? So, I think that, you know, as much as people want to dig out Fenway Sports Group, I do as a Red Sox fan. I dig them out every fucking day for their stupid ass fucking decisions. We have a baseball team that scores fucking 7-8 runs a game, but gives up fucking 9-10 runs a game. You know, like, we could put together the hitting, but not the pitching. The thing with Liverpool is, like, maybe it has run its course only because the ownership group has shifted their eye, you know, away from the club and maybe towards selling the club. So that's why you still have guys there that are old and kind kind of not doing it anymore. Mo Salah is not doing it anymore like he was last year and years in previous years, just like Sonny's not doing it now. You have Firmino is still fucking there. You have guys like Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold who are relatively young and still just not doing it this year. I mean, there's a weird aura going around, and it's got nothing to do with Jurgen Klopp. It really doesn't. I think he's still a world-class manager, and he would I'd take him at Spurs. If Liverpool want to drop him, go out and get fucking Jurgen Klopp.
Oh, I'd be talking about his whining just about every week we lose.
You would, but he has fashionable glasses. So
he does have good glasses.
Oh, he's not wearing glasses this year, is he? He had those clear glasses that one year. But
maybe that's what's going on. He needs to go back to glasses.
This isn't a Liverpool podcast. I don't know how we got on this, but
just the manager.
The
carousel.
fact that the manager carousel. I'm just hoping that Spurs aren't left with to pick up the trash.
Dude, we're gonna end up with Brendan.
Not that Nuno's
Rodgers.
Trash. We are gonna end up with Brendan Rodgers, unless Chelsea come in and need something really quick and they want something to get done. Brendan Rodgers has the ability to play forward-thinking, fast, exciting football. And it just kind of ran its course in Leicester, right? They just didn't have the money and the power to keep it going. I don't think he's right for Spurs. I don't think he has the right attitude for Spurs. I think that and I'm gonna say it out loud. We either need to get somebody in now or think about maybe 4th, 5th, 6th choice come June and July. Get somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to get somebody in now, and that somebody is Pochettino.
Yeah, except we won't get anybody in now because we're going to stubbornly stick with Stellini, who will continue to play this bullshit Conte light system. And then in the summer, we're going to be stuck scraping the bottom of the barrel for somebody desperate enough for work. It's not an exciting project. You see reports coming out about how, somebody like De Zerbi, again, why would he leave a stable project like Brighton to come to the dumpster fire that is Spurs? And I don't blame him. Like, if that's accurate, I absolutely do not blame him. You would need to be really secure or have a really big ego to think you can step into this managerial spot and just take it to the next level. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Our next coach, if it's not going to be a Nagelsmann or a De Zerbi, it needs to be somebody where there are no expectations. There cannot be any pressure to perform. We need somebody who is promising and exciting, but not to the point where we as fans are expecting instant results, instant title challenges right away. We need somebody who will be allowed the time and the patience from both the owners and the fans to actually make the changes that they need to be successful. And if that means that next season we're finishing 6th, 7th, 8th in the table while this person is getting up to speed, that's an expectation that we need, right? We need to set that as supporters.
Yeah.
If you go and you hire somebody like Nagelsmann, I would expect Nagelsmann to come in here and keep us top 4. That's just kind of like that's the elite level that we're attributing to somebody like him. If you get somebody like a Gallardo or an Arne Slot, somebody from outside the Premier League who is exciting and could potentially put us in that direction, we need to accept that we're probably going to be an 8th that season and give them the time to make the changes. Because you got to remember, it's not just the manager. We have a ton of players who are well past their sell-by date. Like, we got to get these guys out. And it's not going to be something that happens in the summer. We might be lucky to see 3 or 4 of these guys moved on. It's going to take multiple windows, and we need to have that consistency at the manager along with multiple transfer windows to refresh the squad before we can expect results.
I agree 100%. We as fans have to understand that, like, the days where we're making Champions League every fucking year, those days are over. Those days are over. Those days were over when we started, having a little bit of issue with Pochettino, in his first run.
Honestly,
And
I'd say they were over the day that we finished the transfer window without signing anybody. When we were content to just let things be as they are, we were pretty much admitting, like, okay, this is the best we're going to do. We don't need to change anything. And that's when the downhill starts.
that I mean, that is. I mean, and it was evidenced in that 2018-2019 season. Sure, we made it to Champions League final, and sure, what we end up in third or fourth that year at the end of the year, but the end of the season was a fucking disaster. Culminating in that Burnley match that you got Poch sacked, right? And brought in Jose Mourinho. I still have some high hopes, but I think as Spurs fans, we have to understand. We have to understand that there's going to be some lean times coming, and I don't think that Spurs fans who are used to being in a spot for the past 6, 7, 8 years are going to be able to swallow a project. And I am. I'm pissed off now because we have the team and the team has given up. We need to. I'm going to stick with my thoughts that Eric Dyer is the problem.
You see, here's the thing. I think the Spurs
He's
fans,
if he's not the problem, he's emblematic of the problem.
I think Spurs fans would be willing to accept that project manager taking time to do things if there was clear alignment from Daniel Levy and from the board and everybody else in charge that we are going the project route and we are going to support whoever we bring in for it. What we're getting are mixed messages, right? We're getting them saying, this is going to be a project. It's going to take time. We need to have patience. And then they hire win now managers like Conte. That's misaligned. You're not going to get anything going in that direction. They need to, and I've said this in our WhatsApp chat, Daniel Levy, depending on who he hires for our long-term manager, is either going to save him in the eyes of Spurs or cause one hell of a riot next season as soon as fans turn on him, because he does not have any more good faith, in my opinion, to warrant another shit manager after what we've gone through over the last 4 seasons.
Hugo Lloris is the problem.
You think he is?
He's the captain. Who's been the captain through all this shit? It's Hugo Lloris. A captain pulls their team together. Captain leads. Captain represents. Captain is, if not one of the best players on the field, at least a serviceable player on the field. He's done none of those things. Yeah. Our fateful trip is lost or whatever that is. It's been a long time, but Hugo Lloris is a problem.
Yeah,
I think Dyer is.
He's not Robin
second.
Williams. He's not Robin Williams. Like I said, I think that Dyer. If he's not the problem, he's emblematic of the problem, which is Tottenham as a club refused to move on from the things that were good years ago. Which is why I think that if you're not signing Harry Kane before the summer, you need to get rid of him. If you're not making sure that Son is going to be able to play in a system for the next manager, you need to sell him. You need to get rid of, I don't give a fuck if he was your record signing at the time. You need to get rid of Davinson Sanchez. You need to get rid of Jaffa Tanganga. You need to get rid of all of those players that have been there. You need to get rid of Ryan Sessegnon and Ivan Perisic, and you need to get rid of Fred Hoiberg. See what I did there?
Fred.
NCAA tournament's over.
Iowa State coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
His son made a big shot in the in the tournament. But you have to get rid of everything, start over. You have Papsar there. You have a really young base that you can build. You have Papsar there. You have Basuma there, which we've all forgotten about, right? We have Bentancur there, who's not an old dude. You have Kulisevsky, who can play. He can't play in an up front two, but I mean, he's always going to be a left-footed right winger who can just flat out ball and never stops moving. You have Pedro Porro, you have Christian Romero, you have a young base that you can build off of, but we have to, as fans, accept the fact that the end is nigh. for guys like Harry Kane and Son. Like that time is over. And if Manchester United don't jump on Harry Kane, like, especially if like the Qataris come in with money for Man U, I mean, if they don't jump on Harry Kane immediately, they're fucking stupid. Then Harry Kane will be with us for fucking next 10 years.
Harry Kane, who is getting ready to turn 31. Yes, is that correct?
Yeah, but he's still fucking scoring 20 goals a season.
Yep, we'll see. We'll see.
Yep,
we will see. Hey, I apologize. I had to step away. Did you guys get into closing thoughts or?
No, we were just bullshitting back and forth.
Shooting the shit.
Yeah,
skirting around it, but not quite getting there.
Yeah, well, I think we're on it, right,
Steve? Because I know you got a hot date in a couple minutes. Closing thoughts.
He's got a hot date in another podcast.
I do have some closing thoughts, and it's actually completely out of left field because this came to my attention. It was a ranking of the best rated hot dogs in the world. Okay. Top five.
Wait a minute. Can we do not go there?
Well, no, before you go there, I just have a classification question. Are we talking like regionally, or are we talking like a specific restaurant? Like what's the
regional?
Okay.
Okay. So you're not going to say like Pink's.
No.
All right.
No.
Pink's.
You know how I feel on this one, but let's hear
in the top five, according to this ranking, top 5 best hot dogs in the world, Chicago comes in twice.
You come in twice. How's that?
Yep. Chicago style hot dog and Maxwell Street Polish.
Understandable. So the rest of y'all can
I saw that and I thought of you. So I wanted to share that as my closing thought.
Where's Boston on that list? Anywhere?
No. Cheese Dog is listed at 7th, and that just says USA.
Mike, you're 7th. Oh, sorry. Cheese Dog. That's your new nickname, Mike. Cheese Dog.
I'm about to slap some bitches.
The number 1 spot goes to Argentina, though, for a choripan.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How about that? I'm curious what that is. I have no idea.
Chicago style is 2nd.
I love these.
Street is 5th.
All right, I love these motherfuckers who come on here and make these lists, right? What Steve gets every single list, and all this shit comes from Reddit, right? Steve is the king of Reddit. He's the owner of Reddit.
He's the owner of Reddit.
Can I get some royalties for that too? That'd be
great. I hope you would. I hope you would, because we would have higher production value in our podcast.
Whatever, Cheese Dog.
Fucking Cheese Dog. Cheese Dog's not a New England thing. First of all, the hot dog is an American fucking thing. It is an American fucking thing. And to say Argentina has the best fucking hot dog, they might have good football coaches. They don't have good hot dogs. Fuck you. Hot dogs come with mustard, and if you want, ketchup relish on them, with a nice grilled bun with a bready side, not fucking sesame seeds and fun peppers and pickles on there.
And bready side. You're talking about those stupid New England buns? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, they're not stupid.
Those
they're
aren't
fucking
buns.
Wonderful.
That's white bread folded is all that is. Let's call that what it is.
You're a real piece of fucking work.
That's you. You're white bread folded, Mike.
I gotta say, I'm a chili dog kind of guy.
Chili dog. There you go.
You would be. You're from New Jersey. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's
Maybe
okay.
some gravy fries to go with it.
The gravy fry is the best gravy fries in the world. Used to come from a place right up here in Burlington.
Interesting.
Yep. If you've never been to Nectar's and had gravy fries, well, you probably never went to Nectar's back in the day, back in the 90s when it was when Nectar actually worked there, and it was like a lunch counter.
You guys realize if I can't believe I'm going to say this, if we were a boy band like the Spice Girls, Mike, you'd be Cheese Dog, Steve would be Chili Dog, I'd be Chicago Dog. It's beautiful. We just came up with something fantastic.
I think we have our names for our next recording.
That's right.
Jesus fucking Christ. Why do I have to be Cheese Dog? I can tell you though, when I go to Al's French Fries,
you get a Cheese Dog.
I do.
At a French fry place of all places.
Cheeseburger, pizza burger, cheese dog, pint of fries.
That's pretty good.
That's in order. And before anybody gets on me for this, the burgers are small. It's not like you're getting a giant fucking burger like
they're European sized.
Yes, like
I'm getting canceled for that, aren't I?
Absolutely.
No,
Mike,
you're not. It's okay.
You got any closing thoughts, Mike, or have we exhausted them with this little sidetrack?
My closing thoughts of these, Dave. I think that through the therapy that we go through every single week with Wicked Spursy, with our friends at the Extra Inch, Dr. Tottenham, Fighting Cock, all of our friends there in all of these podcasts and all the people that made Wicked Spursy possible. Like every single week, I enjoy coming on and talking to you guys and being here with you guys and speaking. You're texting with the folks on the Extra Inch Discord. I can't afford Flav. I can't afford fucking Fighting Cock Discord too. I got to go with one or the other, and I got to go with Grandpa instead of Grandma. This time. But all of these people that made this possible for us helps me to get through some of the fucking woes that I have around our football club, and listening to those guys and Fighting Cock has rotating guests, and you get perspectives outside of your norms, like that you get from you're going to get tactical shit from Nathan and Barty and Wendy, the guys on Dr. Tottenham. You're gonna get Agent Dan Morgan and Sammy and their views and Vass, Vass, who's been fans. Like these guys have been fans for hundreds of fucking years collectively, and I can only hope to understand what it is to be a Spurs fan, especially in America, who doesn't get to go to matches and have the experiences that they've had. So I just want to say, like, those podcasts have made us able to get together every single week. And I love that. No matter how much we bitch and complain and whine, we're going to continue to bitch and complain and whine. And I think that's part of loving your club. Whether you've been a fan for 5 years, 20 years, 50 years, or 1 year, it's part of something that I fell in love with, and I appreciate you guys, and I love you guys.
You know what we have that they don't?
Cheese Dog.
We have the fantastic title of being the only Tottenham Hotspur podcast to feature the illustrious Brian from Rhode Island.
This is true. This is very true.
Who may be joining us again soon.
Yeah, Brian from Rhode Island. You'll never sing that Extra Inch.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. They can't get him. They can't get him scheduled.
We got to sign into an exclusivity contract or something. What are you union guys, Mike? Get on that. Negotiate the contract.
I don't do that.
Mike, two things to say. One connects to your comment there. I know I do this, and I think you guys do the same thing. All those other podcasts that we all listen to, and that actually gave us the idea to do our own. we actually make an effort to not listen to them if we can before we record, because none of us want to spoil like our instincts or takes. But it's really, I would say it's actually really gratifying, like when you have a take and then you hear someone on the other ones either completely rebut it or completely align with it. Like it's just cool to kind of feel the kindred thinking around the club. So that's one thing. Second, this is a frustration turned to an appreciation. So yesterday I got done working at around like 3:15 p.m. here. Just so for context, the Spurs match started like 3:05 or whatever it was, and went down to the kitchen and thought, I'm gonna get started on just prepping some dinner. That's something I do. It's my thing. So I literally on my laptop had Spurs open watching that with the sound on. On my phone, the White Sox were playing their home opener, so I had that kind of position as well. I had the glass of, my favorite boxed wine out, just ready to rock, and I'm cooking a little spaghetti bolognese on the stovetop. Right, I was doing my thing, and just loving it and appreciating it. Then Spurs did what they did. Then the White Sox went down 7-0, came back to 7-3, lost 12-3. So it was just a freaking disaster all the way around. But when it's all said and done, after that 2 hours, I was still appreciative. Like, how lucky am I get to even stand in my kitchen cooking dinner, watching two of my favorite teams, in the same location, and like just grateful that even though the day sucked and the outcome sucked, I still got to do that. That's a good thing. So just like I'm thankful for you two fellas, I'm thankful for that as well.
It's a great perspective, Dave. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
What's scary is
you turned our shit burger into a cheese dog, which is nice.
Nothing better can be done, right? All right. This has been
You brought
Wicked
this from
Spursy.
Racks to Arby's.
It's a Maxwell Street. This has been Wicked Spursy. Mike, Steve, and Dave, listeners, we appreciate you, gentlemen. Love and appreciate you. Steve, what would you say as we go?
Don't be an asshole.
And Mike, how about you?
Be safe, everyone.
Anything else?
Coys.
There it is.
There it is. And I don't know how to stop the recording.
One of these days you'll figure it out.
I will figure it out.
There you
We're
go.
still live. We're still live as